So today's video, we're going to look at preparing for a French road trip. Stay tuned, we're going to step through it. Number one, make sure your bike is serviced. Don't take your bike on a trip and then when it breaks down, wonder why it's happened. Get it checked over, get the oils done, get the filters changed, get the tires checked, get your chain checked. If you're belt driven, get that checked. Take it to someone who knows, or if you're very handy at yourself, get it checked out. Make sure it's fit for the road. Number two, plan your trip, at least roughly. Have an idea where you want to go, how many days you want to do, the types of journeys you want to do. We spent a lot of time kind of looking at N roads and D roads because they're, you know, the twisties and all that what we talk about in our videos. And if that's what you're after, go and do a rough idea of where you want to go. You don't have to be specific. Maybe you're one of these people who plans out a journey to a T, and that's fine. You can do that and you can stick to that to a T. But you can use Google Maps, although Route U is another mapping solution out there that you can use. Found it for planning out a longer trip with lots of stops and stuff like that. It's a better one because it allows you to add loads of different stop points. So that's number two. Number three, so if you're going to do long runs, is this something you're experienced with? You've done long trips, say, are you doing 200-300, maybe up to 400 kilometers in one day? You got to build yourself up for that because it can be very tiring. The lesson that can be learned from that is, what's your bike's capabilities? When do you need to stop to fuel up? What's your capabilities as a rider? When do you feel you start to tire or your legs stiffen up? You need to prepare yourself for that. If you haven't done long trips, wherever you live, plan a trek that's 200-300 kilometers or miles, 200 miles, and take that run and see obviously how you feel after it. You put your body through it, you put your bike through it, and at least then you're prepared. So number four, this is a bit like, I suppose, the planning of the trip. What do you want to see? What's your aim of the trip? Is it just to hit good roads? There are particular cities or towns you want to see along the way? We were very much hit a town, spend the evening in it, next day up, gone again. Your journey may be different. You may want to spend a day in it to be able to maybe use that as a base point and then go out and see some places around. Consider that when you plan out your trip. 5. Are you doing this alone or are you bringing a buddy? Is your buddy someone you get on with? Because you're going to be in each other's ear if you're using comm units like Cardos or Senna or any of those kind of communications. You got to have similar interests. Either you don't give a damn where you go as long as you're on the road and you're on your bike, and that's fine. But maybe the guy you're going with has to be, he's dead set, or maybe you're dead set on leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning and being here at 11 o'clock in the morning. And if you're going alone, you want to be able to go by your own time. But if you're going with someone else, is that a person that, if you're going with someone on the trip, maybe have that discussion beforehand of what way you see the day running and how they see it, so that there's none of this kind of confusion when you get into it. And obviously the more bodies you will add on to a trip, the more people that has to kind of agree to a direction. How long we're going here for, how long we're stopping here for, or I don't want to stop here, or God, I don't like these roads, or whatever it is. Whether it's solo, with a buddy, or with a couple of buddies, and maybe having that conversation of how the trip is. Number 6, insurance. Make sure you're covered. Don't take it for granted. Ring your insurance company. Make sure you're covered. Obviously, depending what bank you're with, maybe make sure your card's going to work. We use with Revolut. Maybe something just to consider. It's just handy to have. Most places in France are taking card. Number 7, you're going to have your phone on you. If you have a newer bike, you might have sat-nav integrated bike's dashboard, but maybe you're like us guys, you're going to have to get yourself a mount and a phone case for putting because you're going to use your phone as your sat-nav. Sat-nav, extremely important. How much battery usage it's going to take. So having a USB charger on your bike, can you plug it in to keep it topped up? A little USB charger, you can find them, your local motorbike shop or Amazon or any of those. Number 8, accommodation and booking stuff. Depending on the time of year, and this is primarily what I want to mention, is peak season. Between July and towards the end of August in France, that's peak season. I'd probably recommend staying away from that if you can. You are getting at least better deals on accommodation. Like you would have seen if you've watched the videos, we had 5-star hotel that cost I think about 100 quid a night. In a 5-star hotel, it's just I think we checked it out, the place is 500 quid a night normally. So yeah, you just could be surprised. Consider if you're getting a boat across, depending where you come from. If you're coming from Ireland or you're coming from the UK, consider booking in advance, well in advance. Look at the duration of the boat. Don't break your back sitting in a chair. Book a cabin. They're not that expensive, and then at least you're getting up well rested when you arrive at the destination. 9. do some exercise. You're going to be sitting on a bike, do regular stretching, do some exercise. It doesn't, like, no one's saying you got to be pounding the gym, but get some fitness. Your body is going to need it. Fitness is an important piece to have. Number 10, your bike and how you're going to distribute the weight. Load up the bike as if you were going to see how it feels. If you have panniers, whether they're hard or soft, and they're loaded, and you have a tank bag and a tail bag or a backpack or whatever it is, that's probably not how you ride daily. By loading your bike up, you get the feel of it. It's extra weight in the bike, it's going to be loading the shocks differently. Balance it out. Consider where stuff is located on the bike. If the weather changes on a road trip, where's your wet gear? Which bike do you put it in? You know, did you put it at the bottom of it, the top of it? Simple things. When it's pissing rain, you want to know where your gear is. So there you have it. 10 things to prepare for your French road trip. So stay tuned for the next couple of videos. We're going to talk about French laws, and then we're going to talk about the essential items you got to bring with you. Thanks for watching. As always, hit like if you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe if you like the content. We'll see you in the next video.